Today on the podcast, we are talking about Super Bowl Sunday, which is about 4 or so days away from now. And we're going to talk about who's going to win, who's not, what needs to happen for them to win, a quick review or review of me and O's predictions, and maybe a little talk about some halftime show too with Rihanna. Pray My Name podcast starts right about now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pray My Name podcast. It's your boy Simbawi Nivayu Jr., aka TK, along with my man Omar Williams. We call him O, and Denise Obi, we call her D Nice. Y'all say what's up to the peeps.
What's going on,
What's
guys?
going on, good people?
It's another lovely Wednesday, and today is a special Wednesday. We are talking Super Bowl Sunday today on the Pray My Name podcast. But before we do all that, you know how we do. It's Affirmation Wednesday. We got our affirmations in and out the way before we do anything. So if you've got your affirmations written down, if you got them memorized, whatever you need to do, let's get this in and out the way so we can start our day, begin our day, and keep it going. For those of you who are getting the replay of this on whatever day it is, whether it's video or audio, it's affirmation that day. But for us, it's Affirmation Wednesday. Are you ready? Here we go. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, all things will line up in my favor. Today, all things will work out for my good. Today, I'll become better than who I was yesterday. Today, I will be better than who I was yesterday. I said that twice for a reason. You'll see why in a moment. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have affirmed on this day will happen because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it popping. So today we are talking NFL Sunday. And right now, before we even jump into that, let's just take a quick review of what our show was, I believe, back in September, when me and O kind of gave our predictions of what was going to happen playoff-wise, who was going to make the playoffs, who's going to make the Super Bowl, who we thought was going to be in the Super Bowl, who was going to possibly win. So I'm going to go first because I am. That's why. So, and just for those who don't know, Denise hadn't joined our show yet, so she has no preview to go back on, but she does have a prediction moving forward, as you'll find out later in the show. So my prediction going into this was that it was going to be Cincinnati Bengals, which is my team, and the Green Bay Packers. Now, take a pause right here. For those of you who think I became a Bengals fan when Joe Burrow came, you are sadly mistaken. Okay? Let me give you a quick recap of my Bengal trials. Okay? I have been a Bengals fan since I was 5 years old. I go back as far as the Boomer Esiason years, the Ickey Woods years, okay? The Anthony Munoz years, okay?
Man,
I go back that far. So don't be tripping talking about, oh, he just a Bengals fan because Joe Burrow. No. I go back as far as Boomer Esiason. And you know what happened after Boomer left and went and got traded to the New York Jets? Everything went downhill. Okay? So don't play me. I'm a Bengals fan for life. Now, I will say this. I'm going to be honest. There was a point in time I wasn't claiming the Bengals. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they sucked. That's why.
Yikes.
Now, listen. And this is kind of what happened. So, Rich Gannon ended up going to the Raiders, right? I was kind of a Rich Gannon fan. I was not a Raiders fan. I was a Rich Gannon fan. And so Rich Gannon went to the Raiders. Then Jerry Rice came over, and it was kind of like, oh, they got a little squad. But I'm like, I'm really a Rich Gannon fan. So I'm watching Raiders games here and there, but I'm always looking to see what the Bengals are doing. I'm like, oh, they lost again. I'm like, dag nabbit. You know what I mean? So I was a Bengals fan for a moment behind the scenes, but I always have been a Bengals fan. I just kind of wasn't wearing it on my sleeve like I used to. And then we got Marvin Lewis came over as a coach. He was there too long, just plain and simple. He was there way too long. I don't understand how you lose 7 playoff games in 15 seasons and you are still the head coach of a football team. I don't get that. That's either here nor there. But at the same time, things had a little upside when we had, the Ocho Cinco years and all that. But they still never won a playoff game. They never had won a playoff game. And so now we have this Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Zach Taylor period. And I still don't wear it on my sleeve. But what happens is when things happen, I just say, hey, just letting you know. Who they? Who they? Now, as far as Green Bay goes, now, O laughed at me in the beginning of the season saying, Green Bay, like, really? Now, I know he got scared for a moment because Green Bay ran off like 5 straight games.
Yeah, they did.
And they almost actually made the playoffs. And they ran into who? The Detroit Lions last game of the season. And you mean to tell me you couldn't beat the Detroit Lions at home when it counted to get into the playoffs? Now, granted, Detroit is an up-and-coming team.
Yes, sir.
This is for sure. They're not the Detroit Lions of before. They're an up-and-coming team.
Yes, sir.
But I'm saying, you're at Lambeau Field. It's 12 degrees outside. You couldn't get it done. I'm just saying. So if Green Bay had made the playoffs, I would be like, hey, all right, they're in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. That didn't happen. Cincinnati came 1 game short of getting to the Super Bowl again. I can live with that. The expectations from last year weren't even there. They kind of snuck by on their defense. And then when the offense needed to show up in the playoff Super Bowl, the offensive line kind of let Burrow down. I get that. This year, Cincinnati, all they had to do was get a first down. And the field goal was theirs to win the game. They didn't get a first down. Casey gets the ball back, kick a field goal, they win. I'm not sorry about it. We had a great season. We'll be back again next year. It's all good. Oh, it's your turn.
Well, I picked I had Tampa Bay. Well, I had Tampa Bay because I didn't want to pick my team. And at the beginning of the year, Jalen Hurts was iffy. I wasn't quite confident in him. I'll say it right now. So I had Tampa Bay because you can't bet against Brady. And then I had Kansas City because I think the heir to the throne is Pat Mahomes. So, so I'm thinking Pat Mahomes is the next Tom Brady. Like if he doesn't get 6 or 7 Super Bowls, again, hopefully he don't get one this Sunday. He can hold up on one more year, right? But like I thought, to me, he's the next guy. But so I had Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and I was totally wrong. Tom Brady didn't look like himself in the beginning of the year. He had a little run towards the end, and they actually made the playoffs, right? They made the playoffs, and then Dallas got rid of them. So Dallas pretty much showed you how bad they actually are because I think Dallas is actually good. They just so happen to run into, another problem. So, So again, I thought Brady was the man. I thought he was going to go back, and then I had it right on the other side with Kansas City. Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the greatest coaches that ever coached the game. Like when it's all said and done, his accomplishments are the greatest. His tenure here was great. Was some of the best. So let's speak real quick. Let me give you a recap of my Eagles fanhood too. A lot of Eagles fans became fans the McNabb years, those Andy Reid beginning years. That's when you get 80% of this younger fan base. That's when they got on board. I was back in 1990. I remember it because I used to be, you don't know enough. I was a younger Giants fan. I got a little older and I realized, we're near Philly. Philly's the team, okay. And they were the gangrene at that time when they had the defense with Reggie White, Mike Golick, Clyde Simmons, Jerome Brown, Byron Evans. I could keep going. I'm letting you know my fandom here. Andre Waters.
There you go.
So basically, I dealt with them all the way in the 90s, which was some bad years. Rich Kotite, Ray Rhodes.
Ooh.
You remember them.
Rich Kotite.
It was some bad years, man. Like I said, that gangrene defense was amazing. But we just couldn't get over the hump because Randall Cunningham had a defensive coach. Randall leaves Philly and then he goes to the Vikings and becomes a beast, as we remember that. But so that's my fandom, man. I've been a fan since 10 years old. I'm now 42. I went through the tough times. I went through those Andy Reid times, and now we are here. We are back.
Go ahead and flex. Go ahead and flex on them, brother. Go ahead and flex on them. I ain't mad at you.
We are back. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So that's our quick preview from our show in September when we talked about who was going to get there, who was going to be in it, and whatnot. So right now, I do want to just talk real quickly about actually, you know what? I want to ask Denise if she had any predictions in the beginning of the year before we move on to the next part of this, because I don't want to leave her out.
Did I have predictions? Yeah, that the Eagles would get there. That was my prediction. Because I knew Hurts. Honestly, I knew Hurts was gonna make it a good comeback this year because he knew a lot of people were betting against him this year, and even they had a interview today in Arizona, and a commentator said to him, I doubted you, honestly. I doubted you this season, and I think a lot of people did. And I felt like Hurts took that negativity and he put it all on the field. So, and this is what we got. Now look where we are. Sunday, we are at the Super Bowl. So I was with the Eagles from beginning to end.
Boo.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. That's my story.
I will say this, though. Jalen Hurts had an advantage this year because he got to have the same coach for 2 years in a row.
The first time in his career.
I think that benefited him. Since high school, he has not had the same coach 2 years in a row. And that benefited him greatly this year. And so I think we're getting to see the Jalen Hurts that everyone thought he was. So kudos to him, and we'll see how things end up. Right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. In the second half of this, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl as far as it being deemed as the Andy Reid Bowl. We're also going to talk about what both teams need to do to win the game. And we'll talk a little halftime show as well and see if how that's going to go. Frame of Mind Inc. Podcast. We'll be right back. Are you looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind Inc., an apparel brand company, impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel, such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. Before we left, we're talking about me and O's predictions of the beginning of the football season back in September, who was going to make Super Bowl, who was going to be there, things of that nature. Denise said she was believing the Eagles the whole time. Whatever. So, you know what? I can't say she's lying because I don't know. But you know what? She's an Eagles fan. You know, I mean, at least she's not a Dallas fan. I can say that, you know, and I'm not saying that to be hurtful or spiteful. Just, you know, Dallas fans, they've been saying it for the past 20-something years, and I don't know what the issue is, but hey, whatever. That's here nor there. So right now we're going to talk about a little bit of Andy Reid because Andy Reid has been to a Super Bowl once with the Eagles, and he's been there now this year 3 times with the Kansas City Chiefs. And everyone kind of deemed this to be the Andy Reid Bowl because his former team and his current team are now in Super Bowl. What say ye about the Andy Reid Bowl? The 2 Eagles fans that I have here, what do you guys have to say about this kind of looking like the Andy Reid Bowl and what this looks like for Andy Reid if the Eagles lose or if Kansas City wins?
I'll let Omar take that one first.
So here's the thing about it being the Andy Reid Bowl. So the Eagles' DNA, like the whole structure, how we build, how we draft, everything we do stems from the early Andy Reid years. So his philosophy is build from the inside out and get you a good quarterback, right? Make sure you get a quarterback and build from the inside out. So if you look at like how we always have line, like our linemen, our D linemen, that all stems back from Andy Reid. And then if you look at his team, he has a good D line, O line. You know what I mean? And he has that quarterback again. So like his DNA is all over this game. I also will say this. I think he left us and kind of learned from his mistakes, I should say. Because when he was here, he didn't think he needed wide receivers. He goes to KC and he has Tyreek Hill and a couple of Jason Kelsey, right? Well, he always had a good tight end, but he left here and then he now got his good wide receivers, and he always had a good running game because he believes in linemen. So this game getting called the Andy Reid Bowl, I feel like whoever wins, his imprint is all in the mix, man. Because the way Howie Roseman drafts is because of Andy Reid, and I'm sure that the way that they draft over there now is because of Andy Reid. So you got to give kudos to him either way, man. Whoever wins, it's an Andy Reid imprint on it.
Yeah. Okay. Denise?
I said I'd have to agree, but I also have to disagree a little bit here because I'm actually calling it the Kelsey Bowl. It's Travis because I love Travis as well as Jason. So kind of seeing the 2 brothers because, fun fact, Travis was actually going to be drafted by the Eagles back in 2018, I believe. And at the time, they went with Zach Ertz. So I feel like that's going to stem some like good sibling rivalry to make it down to the finish, which is good for both teams as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I think Andy is like, he's Andy Reid. Like you can't say anything bad about him, but he knows, give him his cheeseburger. He's good. Without a cheeseburger, he's like, I'm going to win either way. So
okay.
Kudos to him. Right.
So now here's my other question. Now, I know that, you know, his brother plays on defense with the Eagles. Travis plays on offense. Do you ever see them lining up against each other, blocking each other?
Oh, no. They both play on offense.
That's right. He's offensive lineman.
Yeah, his brother's the center, and he's the tight end.
Yeah, true. So check this out. Do you still ever see them saying, you know, how about you go in there and block your brother?
No.
How about you go in there and block your, like, just to make it fun? I mean, look, I'm playing a little, you know, a little fun game here. But do you think that would ever happen just for Super Bowl purposes?
No. No. I think that would mess with the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
I can see if like Yeah, it would mess with the integrity of the game. I don't think they'll do that.
If it was a season game, yeah.
So maybe like a retirement game, like a known like a game where Kelsey knows it's his last game and his brother, and say that like they're bad or something, and they just wanted to. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's a blowout. I can't explain. It's like when do you remember when Michael Strahan got his all-time sack?
Yeah.
Like Brett Favre pretty much gave it to him. So something like that, you know what I'm saying? But I can't see these two guys.
Yeah.
It goes to show you how much I know about his brother. I'm thinking he's playing defense, he's playing offense. That's sad. That's all right. As you can tell, I'm not an Eagles fan. That's all right. So anyway,
it's all right. It's all right.
So that's all good. It's all good.
By the end of the podcast.
Nah, I'm good. So I have two Eagles fans here, and I'm pretty sure I know who they want to win. But let's just play the middle section here. What do both teams need to do in order to win this game on Sunday?
I think that I personally think the Eagles just need to play their game. Don't do nothing special. Don't try to show off for because it's the Super Bowl. Run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, and get after Pat Mahomes. I think it's a simple game plan. Jalen Hurts run when he has to, protect himself, and I think we're the better team. So I think if we just play our game, go in there and do what we got to do and protect the ball, man, I think we're good. I don't even think it's got to be that deep. I just think we're the better team. Like I would say by far, but I don't want to get too cocky.
Denise, what do you think?
I agree. I think we just need to stay focused. Don't let them get in our heads. Don't let Rihanna get into their heads. Just stay focused and play like we've been playing. Play like we want to win and bring it back to Philly. Even when we won just now, this last game of the season, even watching the fans, the love that they've shown Philly and them going crazy. Yeah, it was a little too crazy, but that should motivate them. Like, hey, if we win this, like, our fans will love us even more, because apparently Philadelphia fans are not the nicest. But that's a podcast for another day.
It is, and I will tell you this: Philadelphia wins, it's going to be a dirty city for a little while, because people are going to go crazy. Listen, we've already been there and done that, so let's not act like it hasn't ever happened.
Celebration.
All right.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
Grease the poles, man.
Grease the poles.
Bunch of looters. Anyway.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna go KC side since you got to the Philadelphia side. So KC, what KC needs to do? KC needs to make sure that Patrick Mahomes is not trying to be the hero. Because if he tries to be the hero, it's likely that it's going to be a long day for him, because Philadelphia's defense is real, and it's going to be, he has to get the ball out of his hands fast. He has to make decisions fast. He can't hold on to the ball too long. And I wouldn't suggest that the Chiefs do any trick plays unless you're up, say, by 3 touchdowns, if that's the case, because this Philadelphia defense is going to come after him, number one. And I think that if you keep things the way they've been and not try to throw something tricky out there, and if you do, 1 or 2, but don't try to put one out there every time you touch the ball, because KC has the ability of being explosive, not as explosive as they were when they had Tyreek Hill, but they do have the ability to do that if Mahomes is able to extend plays. But I think both teams need to just be themselves and play their game. I will say this, and this may not really matter much, but I looked at the betting polls of all the betting mediums out there, and we're not bettors here, but we watch sports. We know that betting's a big part of it. And according to most of the betting mediums out there, both the Eagles and the Chiefs have a 50-50 chance of winning this game. So I'm just saying. Now, look, I'm not saying that matters.
It does, man. No, it matters.
I mean, no, it matters to the bettors.
No, but those guys don't want to lose. Like, so the guys who set those lines, they're not trying to like that. Like those casinos aren't trying to give away money, right? So it matters in that sense, right? There's smart people who are putting these numbers together. You know what I'm saying?
But as far as the game goes, the game has to be played.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, and that's the bottom line. So, speaking of Rihanna, since Denise brought her up saying that the Eagles shouldn't let them distract them, they got a whole half to not let her distract them. So, and I would strongly suggest that no one come out at halftime to watch Rihanna's show. Okay? Stay in a locker room. Don't come out and be watching. That's not the thing you want to do. Just saying that because Cincinnati's kicker last year came out to the halftime show, and I'm like, why are you out here? You should be in the locker room focusing on what needs to be done.
He is the kicker.
I get it. You're a fan. You're the kicker. But let's be honest. He's a bad dude. I need you inside focus right now, okay? But Denise brought it up. And so what do we see for a halftime show? And I know we're going to keep this very PG because we're a very PG-rated podcast. But we know that there have been past halftime shows where things have happened that were either accidental or on purpose. Denise, what do you foresee to be a part of the halftime show with Rihanna this year?
I think she's gonna sing some of her older songs. Cause some of her newer songs now kind of were, I mean, they were nice, but like they were more on the sentimental side, especially for Wakanda Forever. Rest in peace, Chadwick. So I think we're gonna see more of her older songs, but I don't think she's going to top last year's Super Bowl performance because last year we had Mary J, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and that was one of the best.
Had the West Coast crew. West Coast crew.
Yes, that was the best one that I've seen in a long time. So she's gonna do well, but I needed her. If she brings out some surprises, then yes. So
I might bring Drake out.
Nah, I think she might bring Chris. I think she'll bring Chris Brown out.
Oh man.
All right, that's a low blow. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They would bring both teams back out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Rihanna, I apologize. I should not have said that. I apologize. No, that Chris Brown definitely is not showing up for that. Okay. Well, let's take a brief break. We'll come back. We'll give our own predictions of who's going to win. We'll give our score predictions, and then we'll wrap this thing up and keep this thing moving. Frame on Eat Podcast. Be right back. All right. So we have predictions of who's going to win, and then what the score is going to be. So I'm going to start with Denise, work down to O, and then I'll end it out. So Denise, who is going to win, and what is the score going to be of Sunday's Andy Reid Bowl?
I want to be praying long and hard, but I'm saying the Eagles are taking this home. And score-wise, 34-27.
34-27. Mark it down. 34-27 from Denise. Oh, what you got?
Come on, man. Let's just go straight to the score. 31-10. Eagles.
31-10.
Yes.
So he's expecting a kind of a blowout.
Domination.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to be 100% fair here. I do believe the Eagles are going to win. I do believe so. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is not ready for that Eagles defense. And if they should be ready, I think the secondary overpowers the receivers. I think that there's just too much defense on the Eagles side of the ball. Not enough firepower. I think passing the ball to Kelsey more times than not is going to get old, whether he goes long or he goes short. Offensively, I think both teams kind of have a balance. Both teams can score. Both teams can get up down the field. I think the Eagles' defense becomes the X factor. My score for this game is going to be 37-31. I'm looking for a high-scoring game in the Eagles. I'm predicting that the Eagles may give Mahomes time to try and score a touchdown at the end, but the defense comes through and stops them. That's just kind of my prediction. That's what I believe. So,
can I say one last thing? Yeah. I will say this. If if Mahomes is healthy, a little more healthier than I think he is, it's going to be a ball game. But if he's limping at all, I feel bad for him.
I don't think he will. But my only prediction is that he's had 2 weeks of rest. I think he won't be 100%, but he might be 90. I think 90 is good enough. Like against the Bengals, he was definitely probably around 75, 70. But again, 2 weeks off, I think for a football player who's got time to rehab and get things done, I think 90% Patrick Mahomes gives you a good chance to win and to beat a good team such as the Eagles. But I still believe even at 100%, I think the Eagles just have too much on defense for Kansas City's offense. That's just my own prediction. Right. So anyway, that's all we got for today. Any other last words before we go? Denise? Oh.
Go Birds.
See you on Sunday. Let's renew some contracts. Renew some contracts.
All right. Well, all I can say is hasta la vista because my team's not in it, so it's all good. But thanks for joining us, guys. This has been the Super Bowl preview Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. Continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next time, for Denise, and myself, we holla. Peace. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.